Alright, boys and girls, so I'm going to start installing the pieces to the front drive kit. And we're going to start out with the stub shaft here in the front axle. Step A, step 1. If it still has the factory dust caps, which is kind of, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of unusual. Remove the dust caps. And we'll inspect the bore and see if she's rusty. She ain't bad. But I am going to clean out that little bit of rust, because that could be enough to make these bearings a real bear to drive in. I know I did a video showing this a long time ago, and the guys got so upset the way I drove the bearings in, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to promptly do it the same way again. So there should be a long and a short side to this, but that definitely longer. I want to say longer goes to the rear. Wish you guys would have remembered that throughout the week, and I never said, did I? Never took the camera over there. Oh, God darn it. Alright, I might have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure it goes to the rear. So let me clean the bore up and I'll figure this out. Alright, boys. Two things. This is not what I wanted to be using here, but I can't find my small wire wheel for on my drill. So I'm going to be here for a little while doing this. Also, I went up and checked the 818, and for sure on it, the long part of the shaft goes to the rear. I think you guys can tell here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to polish this up and we'll start driving her home. Oops. Start driving it in. So let me clean this up and I'll get back to you guys. That's great for it. Great. Alright, hopefully you boys will be able to see what I'm up to here. Just walking the bearing in and be careful not to hit the seal. There we go. Must not have this totally clean here in the front. Because it is kind of tight. Alright, here's where things get interesting. When you start driving down the interior here. Make sure I had this seated the whole way. Feels like it's against the snap ring in the rear. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have the correct set of snap ring pliers to do this. So, I have this pair of needle nose, which coincidentally works just about perfect. I just can't believe it. I mean, it's not totally perfect. I have a nice set of snap ring pliers, but I don't have ends that are this small. I could make an end or grind it, but listen. When I'm doing 2 snap rings, I don't care. I don't do snap rings every day. Everything seems alright. Bearings are a little noisy, but so mine, I still work okay. So I guess the next thing here, we're going to mount the brackets up. The only thing I want to see if I can tell, and these wire grills are nice because you can look down in there. Yeah, the back hole down there is threaded. Can you guys see the nut welded on right there? Yeah. So, little trick. Let me get the through bolts out. But a little trick when you go to mount these. Oh no, I'm sorry, unprepared. I know. You take and put the bolt in the back hole here, and then you can just hand start that one, and then you can put the other 3 bolts in here. And you should have lock washers on the frame. You're going to keep these from rattling loose. And the other thing I'm going to tell you guys is when you put these on here, I didn't realize the camera was out of focus, I'm sorry. When you put these on here, especially with a snowblower, you're going to have to level them the initial time. Now if you put any kind of 2-wheel walk-behind attachments on the front, they almost all have a swivel side to side. So if these bars are level to each other or not, or how the bar sits, is not totally crucial on those. But on a snowblower, it's crucial, because you can get them far enough off that, say this side over, well, let's actually do it in a realistic way. Say this side over here can be touching the ground, and this side over here, the snowblower, can be leaving 1.5 inches or 2 inches of snow. That's how crooked they can get. And you have to figure 1/4 inch over the course of 3 foot hanging out in front. You know, it magnifies it or escalates it. Nah, that's not the word I'm looking for. It amplifies it. Maybe that's a different word. I don't know. That has something to do with sound. Anywho's, I think you guys get what I'm getting out with that. But I'm gonna put the nuts up in here, and I'll use my new tool I got, and tighten the nuts, tighten the bolts, and probably what I'm gonna do is I'll just hold them all the way forward and up, and just tighten them and see what we get. So, BRB. You guys thought I wasn't gonna catch that. Put the left bracket. Put the left bracket on the right. I don't know why you guys try and sneak stuff past me like that. So I'm assuming the latches actually go to the inside, which does seem correct now that I looked at it a little more and looked at the witness marks. You see this one, you can tell was up against the frame here, and this side here was just bolt heads. So, gotta be paying attention. So, did anybody catch my screw up yet? And it's not necessarily a screw up, it's just something down the line that's going to inhibit what I want to do. A is, I didn't put the little, I don't know what you want to call them, the little special bolts that the lift assist springs go on. Okay, yeah, it is what it is. Alright, so turn to my right over here and look at the blower. I know where to mount the bracket on a right hand rotate blower. So that ain't gonna work. I mean, the blower will work on this tractor, don't get me wrong, but you can't put the lift assist springs on for the blower. Well, and the whole reason I was trying to run this blower on this tractor is I have the drive shaft for it. The regular left-hand blowers take a double U-joint that goes in here, from here to the blower, where the right-hand blower actually uses a drive shaft. There's actually more space in between. So, that'll put a damper on your plans. So, I can hook the blower up to try it, but I really can't use it. Son of a beached whale. Yep, that's definitely gonna, inhibit what I want to do. No, I can still go ahead and put the front drive kit on, because now you're in to slap the drive shaft, the lift rod, and a snowblower on. But it's not going to work the whole way. Darn it. Alright, boys. So, I'm going to have to consider my options. I can put this right-hand snowblower, I can put it on a hydraulic lift tractor and have zero issues with it. There is a new style, lift assist, for that. It actually uses the deck hangers back here, or the deck attachment points. It actually goes in between here and goes down here somehow, attaches to the frame. I've never actually seen one in person. I know one of the guys on the forums that bought a 16G brand new, uses first name Sheldon. He has it for his 48-inch snowblower on a 16G that has the electric over hydraulic lift. So, short version, I ain't got one of those. So that's why on a manual lift tractor it pays to pay attention. So I may just slap the blower on this. I'm going to get it running. I have a new starter solenoid. I have a headlight switch over there and another dash that I can pull out, and then I can rewire this thing tomorrow. I just didn't go and pull the dash today. I forgot about it till it got dark, being honest. So, yeah. So I guess that's going to be a wrap for tonight. I still need to do something with the front tires. I did nothing. And as you can see, they're still the same. So I gotta look at that tomorrow, or look for those tomorrow. These tires, I mean, they have decent tread on them. But they're, I think you guys can see it down in there. Yeah, you can see it there. They are weather checked terribly. At least this one is. The other one, excuse me, it's about 9 o'clock at night. And I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. This one has a tube in it already. So that's why that one's up. So, I don't know. I may just throw a tube in it, or I may get another tire. I think I have two better tires. I think they're better in the snow, because these are going to be more like skis. Yeah, now that I'm slightly depressed that my plan's not going to totally work, guess I'd call it a night. I'm just going to work and piddle with some stuff here, and I will turn the camera back on in the morning. Maybe I'll go in and edit some videos. Later, guys. Alright, boys. Can't win for losing. Drive shaft is at least that much too long. And also, I think, whenever you pick the blower up, the shaft, the male portion slides forward in the female here. So I think you need a lot more room in order to pick it up. Can't win for losing. Can't win for losing. Okay, I am done now. Everything else I'll work on tomorrow. So, officially for Friday night. Later, guys. Alright there, boys and girls, so it's the next morning after quitting on the front drive stuff last night, and I've done a lot. I've cut some firewood and pushed some trees, ran the 816 out of gas. That was fun to reprime. And I went and reorganized some of my sheds and stuff. But anyhow, I found two decent looking tires to go on the front of this. I have one tube. I'm going to have to remember because one come off of my 129 and I know it went low after a while. It could be the rims, but who knows. I have to replace this one for sure, so that's the one I'll start with. And if I don't have another tube or it don't look like that other tire is going to work, I'll let the left side alone. I got the dash with a headlight switch in it. And I think really that's pretty much it. Put the starter solenoid in. So I guess I'll kind of start with that stuff. That's not stuff I can really do. You know, I can't really show you guys. I can't get the camera in there and me in there at the same time. Sorry for the voice crack. But yeah, just get all that stuff rewired, and then I'll go pull my battery out of the trailer, which I used it as a winch battery yesterday. and we'll go from there. Alright? Alright. And we'll sort out the front drive stuff, what I'm going to do. Still thinking about that. Because I can't put the other blower on because the drive shaft won't work. I don't think I can make it work. I'll have to show you guys the differences between a right-hand blower and a left-hand blower for the chute controls. There are differences, and they are big. Yeah, so let me get all that done off camera here. And if you guys want to see the tires, maybe I'll bring you back, because tires don't really scare me. You do have to be kind of careful with tubes and stuff. If you don't have tubes, I mean, you can go hog wild. But it's all BRB, guys. Alright, boys and girls, I've been wiring and changing pieces out here for probably an hour, hour and a half. Spent half the time getting rust out of my eyeball, but that's besides the point. So we got this part fixed. Turns over with the key switch. Got the headlights. You go like this. Got cigarette lighter. What else could you ask for? So the next step is putting a hood on, and that brings me to an interesting topic. Alright, boys and girls. We all know this started out life as an 810. And while I would love to change the motor out, at the moment I've kind of run into a time crunch and I want to get this tractor out of the shop and work on some other stuff. So, although it won't take a lot of time to switch the motor out, it's a lot of messing around. You know, get the carburetor right, get all the tins on it, blah blah blah. So, when in doubt, if you can't beat them, you join them. So, welcome to the 810 to 12 project. What are you going to do? I mean, when you got spare hoods laying around, you got spare hoods laying around. Matches the motor in the tractor? That'll work for now. I will bring this girl back in and switch the motor out, put a 10 horse on it just for fun. But as of right now, that's the way she's going to leave the shop. I'm going to get the front tires put on it, which I don't think you guys can see down here. Front tires put on, get the snowblower sorted out so it'll spin, and at least I can lift it somewhat with the manual lift. And I want to get some other projects in the shop here because after this week it's going to be terribly cold with highs in the teens. And I honestly probably won't want to be out here much. So, we're going to get this done, get it kicked out of here. And I think from here on out we're probably going to switch to walk behinds at least for the rest of the year. And maybe beginning of next year unless I get a big rebuild project I want to do or something. But as of right now, the 812 project, 810 to 12 project is going to be out of here. Front tires, cut the drive shaft, install the lift parts. Won't take long. Okay here, boys and girls. I jacked this up and was trying to work on steering and I noticed this. But I also know this tire has a tube in it. So, somebody had that off and I would almost bet money that the spacers are not put back in there correctly. Or they're not back in there. It's possible, or maybe it's just loose. I don't know. I'm going to find out here. I'm going to slide the front end over a little bit so I can get in there and see what we can find. Alright, hopefully you guys will be able to see this, but I can tell looking at it already, something's wrong. They had this nut cranked down super tight, which is wrong. I'm thinking what they did, there's supposed to be a spacer out here, pushes in on the bearing. I'm thinking they put the spacer between the bearings. That's what I'm thinking. And yes, before you ask, I could get a socket and do this. But this is what I had handy. Believe it or not, I got this loose one too. I know. Can't believe it, can you? Neither can I. Usually once you get the nylock out, past you can turn them by hand. There you So, for the record, got nut. Washer. And survey says we have the bearing. So there's no spacer in between there. Missing the spacer, guys. Like I said, there should be two spacers. There should be one on the back here, which is what goes up against the or what the seal rides on back here. This bearing might be messed up. I have more bearings. But anyhow, there should be a spacer in the back. That's what the seal rides on. And then there's no spacer in between here. And then there's a spacer in the front that allows the nut to push down on the bearing race. Now this bearing here appears to be okay. The rear bearing, on the other hand, I am not so sure about. I'm going to have to look at that. I'm pretty sure the tube is junk in this too because it's flat. I'm pretty sure I put air in this. Do you guys remember? I don't remember. I tried to, anyhow. I don't know. For now, I'll air it up. Roll with it. So I'm going to go find another spacer because I know I have a couple of those in the hoard. And I'll pack some more grease in there. And we'll see what happens. So for now, I'll just reinstall the bearing. Work with me here. There you go. Yep. Yep. See now, see the wheel's tight even without the nut being tight. Hold on, I got a couple of them spacers in the toolbox over here. A couple thousand wheels I've changed. Alright boys. Got one out of another junk tire to my left here. Which is I think off camera for you guys. I also decided I'm going to undo what I just did there and pack this wheel full of grease. Why? Because it just seems like a good idea. Especially if that bearing has been running messed up for a while. I don't know how long. Maybe it ran for 2 minutes. When you go, I know I at least pushed it a couple 100 feet. Nope. That's all the grease it's going to get for right now because my grease gun is out of grease. So, a little bit of grease we got there is a whole lot better than nothing. I can always pull this back off and grease it later too. Okay. So now we got a bearing. Yeah. Spacer. There we go. Now we're looking more like it. Washer. Basically the washer keeps the nut from turning with the load against it. And you can see there's only a little bit of play in it now, and the nut's not even tight. Pretty much you just want to tighten it down until there's a light load on it. That's what I've always done. They always seem to work alright after I'm done with them. Layman's terms. Haven't had trouble with any of mine yet. You'd think while I was up I would have got a socket or something. Nope. Forgot about it. see if we keep that in the air. It's not bad there. I'm going to try and tighten it up a little bit more. I'm sure the book has some kind of way you're supposed to set this, like you go tight and go quarter turn back or something. That's good right there. There's zero play. Almost zero play. It's only the slack in the bearings. And see now, it spins but it stops real quick. So let's go back like 2 flats. And see now it rolls nice and smooth. I'd say a preload set right about there. It's perfect. So, anybody remember? Did the old rusty, did the rusty hubcap come off of there? Or the better looking hubcap? Well, I got a choice in the matter, so we'll put the cleaner looking one on it, right? Right. We'll put this old bearing back in the other wheel. And since, oh no, I actually do have a hammer. Okay, looks alright to me. It's hitting on the ground when I go to spin it. So I think we got that under control. That tire has some serious flat spots. Alright. Now we can steer our attention to the other side. Yeah, I know. I heard the joke too. I know. I know you guys are still recording. Put the hubcap back on. Over here. Hopefully you guys can see. You're not like looking at my nose.